back to the basement, the only podcast where the history is dusty, the stories are dangerous, and the beer is probably warm.
And today we're heading to the Wild Wild West, not the movie version, not the Hollywood glamorized version. We're talking about the real Tombstone.
The town that's literally advertised as too tough to die.
And honestly, it wasn't marketing, it was a warning.
So let's set the stage. The birth of Tombstone. Tombstone, Arizona territory. Founded in 1879 by a man named Ed Shefflin.
Now, Shefflin was prospecting in Apache country. Soldiers at Camp H supposedly told him the only stone he'd find out there would be his tombstone.
So naturally, when he struck silver, guess what he named the town? Tombstone.
Yeah. Prime example of tell a man he can't do it, he's going to do it.
Exactly.
That's either dark humor or the most stubborn branding decision in American history.
Silver was pouring out of the ground. Within a year, Tombstone exploded into a boom town. Nearly 7,000 people, saloons everywhere, gambling halls, brothels, newspapers.
And crime. Lots of it.
So, enter the law, or at least their version of it, the Earp brothers.
You probably heard of Wyatt Earp, but there are three brothers in Tombstone, Wyatt, Virgil, and Morgan.
Virgil was the town marshal. Morgan was his deputy, and Wyatt, technically a deputy U.S. Marshal, but he also gambled professionally.
Which is wild. Imagine your sheriff also running the poker table.
Right, you don't cross him.
Yeah.
Wyatt wasn't some spotless hero. He'd been arrested before. He worked in saloons. He had a complicated past.
But he had one thing, reputation. He was cool under pressure, deadly with a gun, and not afraid to enforce order his way.
And then there's another wild card, Doc Holliday.
He was born John Henry Holliday, a trained dentist from Georgia.
With tuberculosis.
Now, doctors told him the dry air out west might prolong his life, so he moved and became a gambler and a gunfighter instead.
Doc was educated, well-spoken, and absolutely lethal. He had a short temper and a loyalty to the Wyatt that ran deep.
He also knew he was dying, and that changes a man. It makes him fearless. What do you got to fear? You're already dying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's the worst thing that happened to you?
Yeah.
Right? And on the other side were the Cowboys. Not rodeo cowboys. We're talking about an outlaw gang.
Cattle rustlers, stagecoach robbers, heavy drinkers, and politically connected.
The main names, Ike Clanton, his brother Billy Clanton, Tom McLaury, and Frank McLaury.
Ike Clanton was loud, aggressive, and always talking tough.
But not always backing it up.
I mean, it always seems political has something to do with all this stuff. You know
right?
what I mean?
It's a wild, wild west, man.
Yep. So the Cowboys hated the Earps. The Earps saw the Cowboys as lawless chaos threatening the town.
And Tombstone basically became a powder keg with badges on one side and whiskey-fueled outlaws on the other side.
All right. So this is part of this story that most people have heard of. Mm-hmm. The gunfight at the OK Corral.
Right.
October 26, 1881.
The most famous 30 seconds in Western history.
Despite the name, the fight didn't actually happen inside the OK Corral. It happened in a narrow lot nearby.
The law said no carrying weapons in town. The Cowboys were armed. Virgil decided to disarm them.
Wyatt, Morgan, and Doc walked with him.
30 seconds and about 30 shots fired.
When the smoke cleared, Billy Clanton and both McLeary brothers were dead.
Virgil and Morgan were wounded.
Ike Clanton, he ran.
Now, just like I said earlier, he didn't want to back it up. No dramatic showdown, no heroic duel, just chaos, smoke, and blood in the dirt.
The town was divided. Were the Earps heroes or were they murderers?
A judge ruled it a lawful act, but the Cowboys wanted revenge, naturally.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. Mm-hmm. The rule in town was you don't come in here armed.
Yeah.
And they thought they was going to be,
Cowboys.
Yeah, Billy Bad and come in there like, we're going to do what we want.
Right.
And these guys were like,
I'm your huckleberry.
Go ahead and skin it.
Yeah.
Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
Right.
All right, so Virgil, he was ambushed and crippled. Morgan was assassinated while playing billiards.
That's when Wyatt snapped.
The so-called Earp vendetta ride.
Wyatt and Doc hunted down suspected Cowboys. Several men ended up dead.
And then they vanished from Tombstone. Wonder what happened to them.
I don't know. Tombstone didn't die because of gunfights. It nearly died because of fire and flooding.
Mines collapsed, silver prices dropped, and by the 1890s, the boom was over.
But the legend, That never died.
How many times we saw a mining collapse cripple an entire town?
Exactly. We see it every day here.
Absolutely. Excuse me. So Hollywood turned it into a myth, especially with movies like Tombstone, but it's a great movie.
Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday might be iconic.
But the real men coughed blood and slept with a shotgun.
Wyatt Earp lived into 1929. He spent his later years in California consulting on early Western films.
Doc Holliday died in 1887 in Colorado, not in a gunfight, in a bed from tuberculosis.
Ike Clanton survived the OK Corral and died years later in Nevada.
Nobody rode into the sunset clean.
Tombstone wasn't just a shootout. It was politics, money, pride.
Imagine that.
Right.
It was what happens when boomtown ambition collides with fragile law.
And maybe that's why we're still obsessed with it.
It's a great story.
It really is.
But it wasn't good versus evil.
It was men, flawed, anger, and armed.
And stuck in a town called Tombstone.
Well, this has been The Basement.
Stay curious.
And as always, stay out of the fight.